Delegates and guests, please welcome California's Secretary of State, Dr. Shirley Weber.
Fellow Democrats, it is good to be with you, even whether it's virtual or not, but it's always great to be among Democrats. I am Shirley Weber, California's first African American to serve as Secretary of State in the 170-year history of the California. And I'm honored and grateful to Governor Newsom, our governor, who appointed me as the Secretary of State, but also grateful to the legislature, my colleagues in the Assembly and the Senate, who voted unanimously to approve me as Secretary of State. And I can tell you this is quite an honor, and it has been a whirlwind year. Unlike other years, we've had more elections, I think, than any other state in terms of special elections that have happened month after month after month. And then, of course, we were confronted with the recall election against our own governor, Gavin Newsom. And so I've had this unique responsibility of jumping into this job that was moving fast and that I had to hold on quickly and make sure that we were going to be the state that we always say we are, a state with an election that is transparent, that is fair, and that is just. And I can report to you after a year of working that that is true. We've also expanded business opportunities in California that's also in the Secretary of State's office. But equally important, we have also built our archives. And it's interesting that as the rest of the world is running from the issues of race and running from the concept of diversity, California is running to it. Not only in terms of education in our universities and our K-12 system, but also in our archives in California. You see more women, you see more Native Americans, you see people of color now featured in our archives. And I'm proud of the fact that we've done that when others have shrunk from the position. You know, this was an amazing year, last 2 years with regards to elections. And mostly the Secretary of State is known as the Chief Election Officer of the state. And we take that responsibility very seriously. We saw record turnouts in our 2020 election because of the things that we implemented that made it easier for people to vote. We also saw a record turnout in our recall election. And it was so well done that we have had no complaints, no lawsuits, no misinformation, no attacks as a result of that election. And so we're continuing to work to make sure that California's election system is fair and just and transparent. But I have to let you know, in addition to all of that, that the voting system and the concept of democracy is at stake across this nation. It is heartbreaking to see what is happening to the concept of voting. Our concept that everyone who's a citizen in this country has a right to vote. And you know, we fought the revolution on no taxation without representation. And that was really about voting. The foundation of a democracy, that every citizen gets one vote, and it doesn't matter how important you are or how unimportant you think you're not, you get one vote, and that is powerful for those who are poor. What we see across the nation is an attack on our voting system, and I am appalled because I never dreamt in my life that I would actually be fighting the battles my parents and family members fought back in the 60s for voting rights. That we do not need to be, once again, trying to determine whether or not every person has a right to vote. They do. We fought that battle. And many of the battles that we fought, we thought we had won. You know, the battles of racism and sexism and all of those things, we thought we had locked those monsters away only to discover that they've crawled back out and they're infecting us again. But I can tell you that I'm going to fight with every piece of strength that I have to make sure that California stands strong. That we are a nation or we're a state that believes in democracy, and we're going to support the democracy of this nation. And we will not back down, and we will not give up, and we will not give in. And so I say this on behalf of my father, who was a sharecropper in Hope, Arkansas, who never got a chance to vote as long as he lived in Arkansas. It was coming to California that opened up to him the opportunity to be able to vote. My grandfather, my grandparents, and great-grandparents never got a chance to vote. As hard as they worked in Arkansas, they never had a chance to cast a ballot to vote in Arkansas. And so coming to California with my father, this was a dream. And he voted in every election. He believed so much in the democracy. He voted in every election that was, and our house in Los Angeles became a voting poll for all of the folks in the community. So we hung out our flag, and we basically was a precinct, and my mother was a precinct captain. So when I think about this, I recognize the fact that it is imperative that we take this very seriously. We can see what's happening around the world on behalf of democracy, that people are having their democracy threatened and their lives are being threatened. And the same is true here in this country. We're going to continue to fight. And despite the fact that in California we are protected in so many ways because of a strong legislature and a strong governor, we still have to be a part of the United States. And every person in the United States should have the right to vote, and to vote it being unobstructed and unencumbered. So I tell everyone all the time that we're going to fight this battle. We're going to fight till hell freezes over, and we've all heard that before. And then we're going to put on our ice skates and fight some more. And when I said that in D.C., someone said, California doesn't have snow. How are you going to put on ice skates? I had to remind them that California has it all. That's why we're California. We have snow, we have mountains, we have deserts, we have water, we have oceans. We have everything. And as a result, we fight valiantly for those things that are free and that are just for every last person in California, but we'll also join our partners across the nation to do likewise. These are critical times. I'm asking for your ongoing support. I'm running for my first term as Secretary of State. But I'm going to fight whatever happens. I'm going to fight for the democracy that gave me life, that gave me opportunity and gave me purpose. And so I welcome all of you to this battle. I hope that you will join me in making sure that we register every voter, that we turn out the vote, and that we also help our sisters and brothers across the nation to make sure that the United States truly becomes the United States and that we have uniform voting across the nation. Thank you so very much, and I'm honored California and the Democratic Party will lead, and we will continue to lead across the nation. Thank you so much.